In order to add or subtract, the most important thing we need is a common denominator. So when I'm making my common denominator, it needs to have all the factors of each denominator. So my new denominator needs to have x plus 4 in it. And it needs to have x plus 5. In order to have made that first fraction have a denominator of x plus 5, I would need to have multiplied it by x plus 5. But I would have had to multiply the numerator by x plus 5 as well, so that I don't change the expression. That means that the 1 needed to be multiplied by x plus 5. And this one, in the second fraction, in order to get the denominator here to be the same, I would have had to multiply this by x plus 4 and do the same thing in the numerator, x plus 4. So I'm going to take that 1 and multiply it by x plus 4. Now that we have our common denominator, we're going to leave it alone until the very end. So that's just going to stay there as x plus 4 times x plus 5. But the numerator, we're going to try and simplify that. 1 times x plus 5 is x plus 5. And 1 times x plus 4 will be plus x plus 4. Combining like terms leaves us with 2x plus 9 in the numerator, and their denominator will stay the same as x plus 4 times x plus 5. Our last step is going to be to factor that numerator if we possibly can, and maybe cancel common factors. But 2x plus 9 is not going to factor nice, and nothing will cancel. So this is the final answer for this problem. I've been trying to get you to streamline this process a little bit. So first, identify what the common denominator is going to be. Again, we're going to need all of the factors of the denominator from the first fraction. So x plus 2 and x minus 3. I'm also going to need all the factors of the denominator in the second fraction. X plus 2, but x plus 2 is already there, so I don't need to rewrite it. But I'll also need x plus 1. Now I'll turn my attention to the numerators. First, this 2x. What I'm going to do is look back at this first fraction, specifically the denominator of the first fraction, and compare it to my common denominator. That first fraction has x plus 2 and x minus 3 in it. The one factor that's missing is x plus 1. So I'm going to multiply that 2x by x plus 1. Next, I'll move on to the minus 3. And I'll compare its denominator to my common denominator. That second fraction has x plus 2 and x plus 1 in it. The one factor that's missing is x minus 3. Now that we're all ready, I'm going to leave my common denominator alone as x plus 2, x minus 3, and x plus 1. Then I'm going to simplify the numerator. So that's going to involve distributing the 2x to give me 2x squared plus 2x, and distributing the negative 3, which will leave me with negative 3x plus 9. Simplifying that numerator, we'll have 2x squared minus x plus 9 all over x plus 2, x minus 3, and x plus 1. Now, if it's possible, try and factor that numerator, but that numerator is not going to be factored, so we can leave it alone. If the denominators of your fractions aren't already factored, you're going to need to factor them first. So in this case, I'll leave the numerators alone and just factor the denominator. That's the difference of two squares, so x plus 3 and x minus 3. In my second fraction, the numerator will stay the same, and my denominator is going to be x plus 3 and x plus 2. Now we can come up with our common denominator. Our common denominator is going to need all the factors from the denominator of the first fraction, so x plus 3 and x minus 3. And it will also need all of the factors in the denominator of the second fraction. Our denominator already has x plus 3 in it, so the only other one I need is x plus 2. Now go back to the numerators. Looking at the first fraction and comparing its denominator to my common denominator, the only factor that's missing is x plus 2. For the second fraction, comparing its denominator to my common denominator, the only factor that's missing is x minus 3. Now we simplify. Distribute the 3 to get 3x plus 6, and distribute the positive x to get plus x squared minus 3x. The common denominator is going to stay the same and stay factored. Now we just have to continue simplifying the numerator. We'll be left with x squared. 3x minus 3x is 0 plus 6. And the denominator again will stay the same. X plus 3, x minus 3, and x plus 2. Last step is to look at the numerator and see if it can be factored. This one cannot, so we don't have to worry about factoring it or canceling anything. So this one is simplified now as well.